What's going on, guys? Trick here with a short little spotlight on some new features in Feed the Beast. This is my Wither Skeleton Grinder, and this is the first one I think I've seen on YouTube. Now, all it is these skeleton spawners dragged into the nether and some shifting floors. Now, I haven't set up a fancy redstone clock to these. I definitely want to see what you guys can come up with as far as taking this design to the next level. But all we have right now is these two buttons. This one moves the floor one way, and this one drops them down to a pit that I've set up. These guys are a little laggy right now. I'm not sure what's up with the server. Just built it in plain old Feed the Beast, not in creative. That's part of the lag issue. And as far as setting up drops, all we have right now is this big old pit to collect drops. And that's it. Took about 10 minutes to make one of these. I'm going to show you guys the basic setup. Alrighty. Now, to start the spawner, you're going to need a 12 by 11 box. And we're going to place our 9 pistons in a line on the 11 block long side. Place them over here. And now we're going to cover them with our building block and put redstone on top of that. Place it here, bring it around the front. We're here, building blocks, place our redstone. And this redstone will power all our pistons. Then we're going to put a repeater here just to be safe, because you guys can make this a little bit longer. I think this maxes out our spawning potential, but I could be wrong. Then you place your 2 buttons on the front, and that is going to power your pistons and move your floor. For the flooring, you're going to need to use top half slabs. I've not tested this design, this moving floor, with full blocks. It could work, but just to be safe, I've always used these top half slabs, and they seem to fall through them a lot better. Because wither skeletons can be a little finicky when you're trying to deal with them. I made a couple different designs of this mob trap. One using pistons and tripwires. The wither skeletons kind of just stood on top of the tripwire and laughed at me, just stared at me, called me a punk, called me names, made me feel bad. So after you've done this, after you put your whole floor down, moving floor, bam. Now we're going to use this iron block to represent our monster spawner. You're going to want to orient this so that on these longer sides, that both of your X and your Y coordinates are going down, so that you're not wasting any spawnable area either way here. As far as containing these buggers, what you're going to need to do so that they don't jump out of this trap when they're spawning is go ahead and half slab everything out on the top of there. Just make sure that there's no spawnable ground anywhere else, because they will find any little opening and try and get out of here. So go ahead and just block all this off. And when you're doing this, remember that the wither skeletons are 2.7 blocks tall. So having a solid 3 blocks of air above them, and maybe 4 even, just to be safe, is good. And then for the front here, because they are spawning with regular skeletons in them, although the majority of them are wither skeletons, just put some building blocks here. I'm using glass just to illustrate. But just put something in between you and the skellies so you don't get shot by them. Having these air blocks here really doesn't matter because they won't target you through the glass. And this is the basic setup. I'll throw a couple guys in there. I'll show you how the floor works. Oh, I'm on peaceful. There we go. Throw a couple of these guys in there. See, that's your regular skelly. That guy will really ruin your day if you leave them in there and you're AFK and waiting for things to spawn. And we just hit this, they all fall through, and you can see since this is a 2.5 block clearance, they can kind of struggle through, but they're basically stuck. So if you only have 2.5 blocks tall, they kind of don't move. That could be a good or a bad thing, but just to be safe, have a little bit of extra block clearance. And if you wanted to make this trap 2 or 3 or 4 layers tall, as you found more spawners in your world, all you need to do is add some top half slabs like this. You place your redstone on them, and this will allow you to do variable heights, because if you use the redstone torch method, you can only do odd numbers, to the best of my knowledge. And this way you are able to do whatever number height-wise floor you want. And on your next floor, we'll just illustrate this with our lamp here. You move your floor, next floor moves as well, dropping them down. And so you can kind of, off and on click these buttons. You could definitely make a redstone timer for them. And for a killing mechanism, all I use is drop fall. It's super simple, super clean. I don't have to worry about it. Just use my jetpack, fly down there, fly back up. It's pretty harmless, pretty safe for the environment. Use no solar panels to charge the jetpack. Yeah, this is the really basic Wither Skeleton spawner. Please, if you guys find a better way where you elaborate on this idea, feel free to let me know. Post a video response, because I definitely want to see if there's any better ways to make this guy go. Thanks a bunch. Please bear with me as this is my first video. If there's some grammatical errors, stuttering, just right there. Right there is a great example. And I really appreciate the view.